Ah, the campfire. It's a very primal thing. We don't even know the whole story behind how humans first came to harness fire, but it's like we were always meant to have it. And the campfire has been the gathering place for people to share stories and ideas ever since. So it seemed appropriate for us to call this new series Around the Campfire for the same reason. And I want it to be a place to talk about stuff, the more mysterious stuff in the world. A place to talk about anything that doesn't fit into mainstream thought. But mostly to talk about your favorite subjects and mine, cryptozoology and the paranormal. And I want to start out by dedicating this series to my good friend, the late Philip Spencer, also known as the Kentucky Wildman Hunter. He was a pioneer in the world of Bigfoot, and his experiences expanded his mind to amazing proportions. He was a great thinker in the world of cryptids, and I was privileged to know him and to hear many of his stories about his research and experiences in the Dismal Swamp in Virginia and the Daniel Boone National Forest in Kentucky, where he grew up. We had many conversations that we joked might have been around a campfire, had he not been chronically ill and confined to his home in his last days. And when I entered the Bigfoot community just a short time before we met, I was surprised that he had read my articles for the Crypto Crew and thought I actually was worth a little of his guidance and wisdom. He was a celebrity of sorts in the Bigfoot world, while I was nobody, mostly a newbie, grappling about where my place would be in all this, or if I even had one. But he knew there was a reason I came here, even before I did. And in what would be one of our final conversations, when he somehow knew his days were numbered, he told me something that has stuck with me ever since. He told me this: I want you to promise me that you'll keep writing about this stuff. I want you to talk about everything you've talked to me about it and everything that's in your head. Don't worry if people don't like it or don't want to understand it, or if they say you're crazy. You'll get used to that, like I have. Just promise me you'll keep talking and saying everything you need to say, because all this needs to be said and these questions need to be asked. And if anyone can make people understand the world in a little different way, it's you. You're the one who can do it. So promise me you won't let them shut you up or beat you down. And I was feeling humbled and undeserving of that kind of praise, trying not to break out bawling like a 5-year-old. But knowing how sick he was, I promised him. And I wasn't entirely sure what I'd got myself into until recently. So this series is where all this has taken me, at least for right now. And here's what I have to say about the subjects I'm going to cover here. Those of us who are fascinated by cryptozoology and the paranormal are unique thinkers. Some of us have unfortunately been jolted into our new reality. We've seen or heard or experienced something that didn't fit the basic description of normal. And we've had to re-examine everything we thought we knew about just about everything. It's not an easy road to take. It takes courage to embrace weirdness and come out with it to others. But then there are the rest of the mystery lovers who are special in a different way. They're interesting, possibly quirky, but nevertheless broad-minded individuals who've chosen to accept that the world is a mystery and there's far more to reality than we see in everyday life. But the ones I most hope to reach are the ones sitting on the fence. The ones that want to believe, but haven't heard the good reasons yet. I intend to explore the good reasons and all the evidence and every thought, however crazy it's considered to be, and try to make sense of it, if that's possible. But here's something to think about first. This is the foundation on which I'm laying it all. One of the biggest flaws in human thinking is this: when we already think we know something about a subject, we don't try to learn anything new about it. It's almost like we feel like we can relax with it and let it sit. And that keeps us from being open to any new thoughts or ideas about it. But I believe that's one of the biggest mistakes we can make. What if the real truth is somewhere outside the knowledge we already think we have? So don't believe everything you think. And I don't care if you've studied science or philosophy or logic and critical thinking at one of the finest universities in the world. I don't care about any of that. Because if you can't challenge your own thoughts and open yourself up to new ideas every day, the subject at hand will stand still, frozen in time, going nowhere. And all the while you'll be thinking you've got it all figured out. And that is not helpful to our body of knowledge or to human evolution. We're not evolving if our thoughts aren't evolving too. And with all this in mind, I want to coin some new phrases like alternative thinking and constructive skepticism. And I want to introduce some paradigm-crushing ideas and methods to make us all see everything in a different way and hopefully open up to new possibilities. Because anything is possible within a certain framework and context. Anything. And a lot of people probably won't like everything I have to say here, but that's okay. It won't keep me from saying it and challenging everyone and everything that tries to keep us all inside the proverbial box of so-called normal thinking. Some things just aren't normal. Some things are still a mystery, and some things will always be a mystery. But there are also some things we'll start to see more clearly when we learn how to step out of the box. We need to ask a lot more questions, even if we're afraid to. It's the questions that scare us the most that are the most important to ask. So, Phil, I'm doing it. I'm doing what you said I should do. I can only hope you were right about it. Only time will tell. But for now, this is Dorraine Fisher from the Crypto Crew around the campfire.